Football then and now, a fun look at football nostalgia and the modern game intertwined. Join us.
A warm welcome. This is episode 88 of Football Then and Now, a look at current football and a load of retro nostalgic topics of the beautiful game that we all know and love. And my guest today is none other than friend and Manchester City fan, Tom Parry, on the show for episode 88. How are you doing, mate? How's things?
Not bad, mate. I'm doing better than my club. That's all I'll say.
The timing of this couldn't have been any worse, really, mate, because we're going current. A couple of bad results, mate, currently.
Yeah. Just when you think things are sort of getting better, we go and lose to Villa out of nowhere. Didn't even look like we could win that game. And then obviously Newcastle. Just as we get going, we get knocked back. There's no consistency. It's worrying. Last season, I almost read it off and I thought, right, okay, we'll go into this season, plenty of good new signings, really exciting signings, and it just hasn't happened.
What do you put it down to, in your opinion? Seeing it week to week, what are you thinking the issue is there? What are the issues for Pep at the moment?
I think the main issue, above and beyond all else, is we've replaced great players with good players. And it's as simple as that. The players that have come in, they could get into most teams around the world. Reiners from AC Milan, quality player, good player, not great. He's replacing Kevin De Bruyne. You've got Shirky coming in from Lyon, exciting player. Looks like he's got a bit about him. I don't think he's going to be great. I think he's going to be a good player. I don't think he'll be great. He's replacing, you could argue, Ilkay Gundogan. Savinho, good, flashes of brilliance. Is he ever going to be great? Is he great? No. He's replacing, say, Mahrez, who we lost a couple of years ago now. But even Jack Grealish, that treble winning season we had, he instrumental for that. He was a fantastic player, defensively, offensively. You could just imagine what he was like in the dressing room, can't you? You lose players like that, and you're going to struggle to replace them, and we have done.
That's summed up perfectly from your point of view. Yeah, it's very clear.
Leaders as well. Kyle Walker's gone, leader in the dressing room, captain. De Bruyne, Gundogan, leaders. It's you're not just losing the ability of a footballer; you're losing what comes. So, you're always going to struggle to replace players like that. It's a few of their first seasons. We'll see how it goes, but I'm not hopeful.
In terms of last night, he made a whole host of changes, didn't he? And he left it till 65 minutes, bringing Haaland on. You can kind of understand it. Leverkusen haven't been flying in Germany. He will rotate. He does that. But there was a lot of changes last night from what I saw. What went wrong with that last night? Again, from your opinion,
just more of the same, mate. The players that came in were mainly players that haven't had too much game time this season. Marmoush being one of them. Another one, good player, did well in the Bundesliga. He's not great. If you looked at our bench last night, it was unbelievable. But then you'd think, oh, well, that must mean that the starting 11's quite weak. Well, no, it was a fantastic starting 11, strong team on paper. And, he made changes at half time and then he made, the Haaland change, 60 odd minutes. That team that was out, that started, was good enough to win that game. I don't know. It's a complicated one. You never know what's going on behind closed doors, do you, Stu? It's it's not the Leverkusen team of 2 years ago. It's not even the Leverkusen team of last season. We shouldn't have lost that game. It's as simple as that.
100% on that. Definitely. I've seen highlights of it, Tom. Do you know what I mean? I've not seen it end to end, the whole thing. But what I saw, it was just a few good chances for Leverkusen. Again, a bit like Newcastle over the weekend. Well, Newcastle had a lot of chances. The way you play, you are open at the back at times. You know, the outside looking in. Teams will have a go, won't they? But I just noticed last night there wasn't a great deal of chances on your end. Am I right in saying that?
Yeah, I think we struggled the last season and this season to not create chances, but create clear-cut chances. You know, we get there, we get into the final third, and we're there, but then it's that end product that we're missing. Now, two players who had a better end product than most was De Bruyne and Gundogan. You know, the late surges into the box, the late runs past the final men to then maybe assist, cut it back and assist. How many times did you see them two do that for us? I just don't think we have that anymore. So we're getting into the final third, but then we're just the end products lacking. Haaland, but even then, he misses his fair share as well. He doesn't score every time he shoots. So, but we're weaker defensively than we have been in recent times. Last season and this season, we just every time a team is attacking, we look like we could concede a bit like Liverpool. You know, as I go back to that treble-winning season, we were solid defensively. We had the quality to maintain possession and get it into the final third, but then we had the quality to then put it in the back of the net. So at the minute, I think we're weak at the back. You know, we don't have killer instinct up top, but we're doing what City do. We hold on to the ball, we'll dominate the ball. We do all that, but it's just, it's either end of the pitch where I think we're lacking the most.
With Pep now, what's your psyche with Pep? How do you feel? What a tenure, the length of time he's been there. It's a decade, isn't it? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you were dominant for a number of years. Not many teams dominate for that length of time, do they? You know, it doesn't happen. No. United, donkeys years ago. Chelsea slightly, but you're winning it year on year, weren't you? Domestically, there's a Champions League and the trophy cabinet. Is he coming to an end? How do you feel in regards to Pep? Does it need someone new? Need new ideas? How do you feel in terms of, the managerial role?
It's hard to want anybody else but Pep there, considering what he's done. But, everything has to come to an end eventually. He's probably this. I could see this being his last season. In an ideal world, I would have had him as England manager. That would have been ideal for me, instead of Thomas Tuchel. I really wasn't happy about that appointment. But it's then who would have come in? It's a tricky one, isn't it? Who's out to replace Pep? He's unique, but there is times I'd be lying if I said there wasn't. There's times where I just think, you know what, I'm ready for a fresh start. His antics is just the way he is. Sometimes it grates on me a little bit. Certainly when things aren't going well. So I think it's getting to the point where it's looking likely that he could move on. I don't know if it's true. Did he split up from his wife recently in the last year or so?
It's when this stuff gets reported online, mate, and you never know, do you? Is this fact or bloody fiction? But maybe that is something to do with it. Yeah, if it is in fact true.
If that is something that could certainly, affect him and then rub off on the team. It's a huge thing to happen in someone's life, isn't it? So if that has happened and it's got to him and then it's rubbed off on the players, or maybe he's not the coach he was because of it, you never know. There's a few variables there, but something's happened. And like I say, I don't see in the near future as challenging for anything. Maybe domestic cups, but Europe and the Premier League. I think top four at this. If you was to say now, top four for this season, I'd take it, grab it with both hands.
I can see that totally with what's going on currently. Looking at your running, I was just looking up prior to us going live. It's not on paper. I've got it there. I've got it in the centre there.
Yeah, see it.
Obviously, Leeds, they're not doing great. They beat us earlier on the season. That was at Ellen Road. They are going to have to pick their points up at Ellen Road if they're going to survive. I think you'll slaughter Leeds, in all honesty. I think you'll come back firing. It'll be the stronger line.
Agreed.
I don't look past anything but a win in that one. How do you feel?
I see us dominating that one. Yeah, I feel we'll dominate that one. That result last night would have really, been a kick in the what. So yeah, I see us coming back firing against Leeds, and that's the team you would probably want to come back against, isn't it? After that result night, they're on the backside a bit, Leeds at the minute. Obviously Haaland will start. I see us putting out a very strong team, probably our strongest team. I like the combination that they seem to have a lot of team chemistry or chemistry between the three of them is Shirky, Foden, and Haaland. I think with them three in the lineup together, obviously they weren't last night, but when they start together, they seem to have something. So if them playing against Leeds, I see it being a bit of a rout. Yeah.
And then Fulham Tuesday, we literally like 6 days away now. Again, Fulham, I know they won on the weekend, but they've not been great.
Yeah.
They've not been great. I think you can go there again. It's winnable, but again, the
was
way
it 1-0? They won 1-0.
Yeah. I mean, we beat them before the international break. We were having a bit of a torrid run, and we beat them. But I don't think they're not. Again, on paper, but it's on paper. I think you can go to Craven Cottage and win as well. Do you know what I mean?
Don't think that is. Yeah, it's not like it's a fortress for them, is it? So I see us, because it's obviously only 3 days after the league is rotating the team quite heavily for that one. The players coming in should have enough. They should have enough to beat Fulham quite comfortably, even if it's at Craven Cottage. But I see that Sunderland fixture potentially.
They lost, didn't they, on the weekend? But again, prior to that, they've been absolutely.
They turn up against the big boys, though.
Yeah.
They've got a lot. They run. They've got a bit about them, so they'll be safe there, definitely.
Arsenal struggled when they went away there as well. They really did in the end. They really went hammering songs at them, physical. They were in their faces, weren't they? So that will be, out of them three, that's the trickiest, no doubt, even though you're at home, though it's a home game.
It's the trickiest one, but if that's a congested fixture for City, then it's going to hit Sunderland harder, because at least we've got the quality to come in, fresh legs. They've got a big squad. They made a lot of signings, but the quality that's coming in off the bench, because they're going to have to rotate. They can't play the strongest 11 for, 3 games in a week. So, again, given that, we should beat them relatively comfortably. Now, if there'd been a week gap between the games, then maybe not so easy of a fixture. But I see us comfortably. We should comfortably win those 3 games.
They're coming thick and fast, aren't they? Going into December, of course. And then you've got the big one at the Santiago Bernabeu away to Madrid. Of course, again, you've got 10 points on the board from 5 in the Champions League, though. Let's be fair. It wasn't the end of the world last night, that loss, was it? Because you've had a solid start prior to that.
Yeah.
But you can't be looking at anything less than a draw, surely, in Madrid.
Well, that's the good thing. It's the good thing with the league format is you can afford to slip up. More so than when you've got the group. So, I mean, the Real Madrid games, I've never seen a bad one yet. It's always a fantastic just advertisement for football, isn't it? End to end. Both teams always look vulnerable defensively. It's never a boring game. It's on my birthday as well, that one. I've definitely...
That's all the sweeter that being on, as long as you get a result.
Listen, Real Madrid at home, you'd take a draw. I don't care. You'd take a draw at the Bernabeu. So I'll take a draw, and the congestion before it, we're going to be going into that game relatively tired. I don't know what Real Madrid's fixture list is, but I can imagine it's something similar.
And presently in the league at the top, aren't they, as well? They've got a slight advantage over Barca at the moment as well, so they're doing well. Again, Liverpool beat them 1-0 the other week at Anfield. That was at Anfield. Not seeing it and Liverpool have been horrific, haven't they? They managed to beat them. So you're going into the Lions then, aren't you, though, going away?
With that game, I watched that game with my father-in-law, and they had a few injuries that game, Real Madrid. You know that I think when they've got their strongest 11, they're probably the best team in the world. So if they've got everybody available, then given our form and theirs, we're likely to lose that one. But like I say, I'll take a draw. It's at the Bernabeu. Given our form, I'll take a draw for that one.
And then just at the bottom there, as you can see Palace, just no City below.
Yeah,
Palace away. Philip Glasner, what a job he's done there. Hasn't spent a fortune. Eze's gone. Elise went last year.
Yeah.
They've carried on. They were a bit iffy a couple of months ago. I thought, they might be slipping a little bit. They're trying to balance Europe this season, of course, but they've climbed. They've climbed again. They've had some fantastic results. That's a tough game for anybody at Selhurst Park, and that's the 14th of December. It's quite a way away yet. But your thoughts on that one? I thought I'd cover a few fixtures.
They've always been a tricky team for us, Palace, historically. I went to watch us against them at the Etihad 6 years ago, and John Stone. I remember it clearly. Zaha gave him the run around, and just been a tricky team for us. If Pep was to go at the end of the season, Glasner, I wouldn't be unhappy about that appointment at all. Given what's happened, the players he's lost, and he's still managing to keep them, scrapping for them European places. What are they? I think they're 7th, maybe.
I've got the table. I can pull the table up there. Yeah, fifth.
They've gone up to 5th. And that's, like you say, they've lost Elise last season, and then they've lost... did they lose this season?
Eze,
of course. And then with the Gay situation as well. He was out the door, and last second he's back in. That's got people's heads. His own, the manager, the player. There was talks there that Glasner stormed into the boardroom saying, "Listen, if he goes, I go." Whether that's true, I'm not too sure. But yeah, with what he's got to work with, he's doing a fantastic job. And given that it's at Palace, again, I'd probably take a draw there.
Coming away from City, who's surprised you domestically so far? In the virtually we're a third in. Just a couple of games short of a third in.
Yeah. Given the start, Villa. I think they didn't get a win for the first 5 games, was it? 4th, positive goal difference. It's remarkable, their turnaround, and nothing in particularly happened for it to happen. They weren't really missing any key players. It just out of nowhere, they just picked themselves up, and they've just been getting results. They were really good against us a couple of weeks ago, and they've surprised me. I think they'll be top 6 by the end of the season. I mean, I can't see them staying in the top 4, but they'll be in and around it. If they do some business in January as well. Emi Buendia coming back. He was out for a while, wasn't he? I think he did a cruciate ligament. He's come back firing. I forgot he even played there. And then all of a sudden he's back in the team, and it's just like, oh, I forgot about his quality. So yeah, I'd say Villa have probably surprised me the most. And obviously Sunderland, but that goes without saying. Be a boring.
They hardly spent anything either. I know he's had ready-made players, and their net spend was, I think they were like, there was nothing. They haven't spent. They haven't spent. It's like,
I'm trying to think of one player they bought.
Gousson came in, didn't he, from France?
But he hasn't been in a. He hasn't been playing much, has he?
More so. He was on the bench. He was on the bench the other night, but he had been playing him. He had him and Watkins in there, but Gousson is versatile as well. He can go out on the
wings as well.
Yeah. So got that versatility with him. But yeah, they've been brilliant because it was a really slow start. It really was. I thought, Emery's having a bit of a struggle here, but
it wasn't even a slow start. It was a terrible start. More a shadow of his former self. Watkins looked tired and lethargic. He's still struggling. He's not been scoring a great amount, has he? But Roger's got a couple on the weekend. They get like same with Palace. Neither of them spent, and look where they are. And Liverpool are, the proof that you can make all the right signings on paper and it not go the right way. And Villa and Palace are opposite end of the scale. They really spent nothing, and they're right up there.
On a slot, as you say about Liverpool. Oh my God, when it's good, it's great. He was the best thing since sliced bread. They are losing their minds. I've heard a lot of people saying he's got to go. A lot of the Reds, they're going absolutely berserk about it. I've heard Zidane's name getting bandied about, from fans, people I know. He's been out of it for years. He's only managed in La Liga. It's a different beast. It's a different beast coming into the Premier League. Pep had done Spain and Germany over a number of years before coming in. I don't think Zidane would be the answer. I really don't.
No, I don't. And I think it would be very unwise to relieve Slot of his duties as well. I mean, what happened at that club in the summer, it would have hit him hard. And I heard Roberto Martinez talk on Monday Night Football saying, we've had a bit of a different reaction to it. We got together and we're getting results and we're doing it in Diogo's name. And it's like Liverpool, it's hit them, because obviously internationally you see them every now and then. With your club, you're with them every day of the week, bar one day, one rest day. It's got to hit them. And I can't imagine, sitting in the dressing room and seeing that empty seat where he was. And, I would say that's probably the main reason. Would you agree on that?
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
Because
it's crazy.
With the signing, Stu, there's no way you bring in them players. Isak, Premier League proven. Kirkes, brilliant for Bournemouth, proven. Frimpong was fantastic for Leverkusen. And he was a City youth player, wasn't he? So he's familiar with the English game. Akatike's come in and done well. Wirt's a bit light. He's a bit soft. He needs to harden up a bit, but he's got all the ability. They made all the right signings. They strengthened in all the right areas. But yeah, the only thing I can think of is that the Jota situation is just, really done a number on him. And it's isn't it? I mean, I can't imagine. He was there for what, 5 seasons? Season. And some of them players had played with him. Most of the team had played for that whole duration. You can only imagine how close they were. You heard Robbo talking about when Scotland went through the other night, qualified, talking about how his, Jota was at the forefront of his mind. So it says a lot, doesn't it?
Definitely left an indelible mark on that club. And, for his country, of course. And when he was at Wolves, predating his Liverpool career, of course, learned the game, learned the English way, didn't he? There and
fantastic player.
They paid homage, of course. It was fitting tribute to the man. Absolutely. I'm going to ask you, has the league gone? I know we're only a third in, virtually. Are you writing the league title off? Arsenal are flying at the moment. Plenty of football to be played. Everyone's got to play one another, within that top 4, the top 4 that we talk about, of course, not in current standings. Is it gone in your mind? You've obviously had the 4 losses in the Prem. How do you feel in terms of a title challenge at the moment? What's your present state of mind on that?
The 4 losses doesn't concern me. We've lost this much in previous seasons and gone on to win. It's not that. We actually notoriously start quite slow and then have this middle part of the season where we go on these incredible runs unbeaten. I just don't think we have that in us this season. So my main concern is not the points that we've lost or dropped, but the quality of the team. I don't think we've got the quality to go on a run like we often did. 20 games unbeaten and stuff like that we would do, wouldn't we? And it's just remarkable. The quality's not there anymore. So in answer to your question, I think, the league's probably out of touch. I take top 4. It'll be interesting to see what we do in January. We need to get Rodri back fit, 100%, playing week in, week out. He's instrumental in our success, and every time he's not in that team, it's glaring, isn't it?
Absolutely.
And he doesn't do anything fantastic. He doesn't do anything It's like, oh my God, well done. He sweeps, he passes, he drives forward, he wins headers, he wins his 50-50s. We keep him fit and we've got a fighting chance, but it doesn't look like we're going to. Nico Gonzalez has come in as his replacement, and he's he's a good. I was almost going to say fantastic player. He's a good player. Great, like we spoke about earlier. So yeah, I'll take top four, but I think Arsenal are they're showing signs of a champion, of being a Premier League champion team. Strong defensively, they're grinding out wins, and they've got a quality replacement for every single position. And in some positions, they have 2 quality replacements. Miles Lewis-Skelly can't get a look in, and look how good he was last season. They've signed 2 centre backs to not replace, but rotate with Gabriel and Saliba, who just they come in and they look like they're at home. So yeah, I think Arsenal's. I mean, it's been Arsenal's a few times, hasn't it, Stu? We've nicked it from them last second, but 1, I don't think we've got it in us to do that anymore, and 2, I think they've got enough quality to this time see it through and get over the finish line, and they deserve it. They deserve it. They've come so close so many times under Arteta's reign, so I wouldn't be mad if they won it.
Eze was amazing the other night. Absolutely brilliant. And playing that 10 role, associating being out wide for Palace. I know he can play. I know he can float, but Arteta predominantly has got him in the 10, and that's where he's most effective. That's where he's driving on. He's taking the shots, and Zubamendi looks superb. They class him as a number 6, but he's getting forward. He had some goals earlier on in the season. It's all coming together for Arteta, it seems. At the moment, there's so much football to be played yet, though.
Yeah, of course. But you can kind of tell by this time, can't you? I mean, as Christmas approaches, you kind of get a feeling of who's going to be up there and who's going to be down there. And they're just ticking all the right boxes. Zubamendi's there, Rodri. He's similar. Yeah, he's a 6, but look at Rodri's goal in Champions League final. He does get forward. He offers a lot more than what a 6 does. He's their best signing. As good as Eze is, Zubamendi, it seems, is their best signing. Be interesting when Odegaard gets back fit, what they're going to do. Because Trossard looks good as well. Martinelli has flashes of brilliance. They've got a strong team, especially offensively. When they're all fit, what do you do? Probably go Eze, Odegaard, Saka. I know that's putting Eze out of that tempo. I agree where he's probably at his best, but Odegaard's a team captain, and when he's on it, that's, isn't he? So yeah, I'm quite envious. Gyökeres, still early days. He looks like he might offer a lot. Maybe not the goals that they were hoping for, but he offers a lot. Doesn't stop running. Good signing. So I can't see anybody really challenging him. I can see perhaps 10 points clear by the end of the season.
Marino coming in as a false 9 when they were short. When Havertz was out, Havertz is still out now, isn't he? But last season, Marino was getting goals, not his natural position. But Arteta saw something, moved him in there, and again, he was effective. He was effective the other night. Again, he's been brilliant for him when called upon. Playing that role.
You can tell Arteta worked with Pep, can't you?
Oh yeah,
he does things that Pep does. When Pep just all of a sudden stuck Cancelo out left. He was like an inverted left back, and he came in field, and Cancelo was a right back, right winger his whole career, and then Pep's like, "Nah, you're going on the left. Not only are you doing that, you're coming inside to support the midfield." And Arteta's cut from the same cloth. He's like, "You're number 8, are you, Marino? Yeah, no, all right, you're going up top, mate. You're number 9 today." And he's obviously seen something in him because he's been successful every time he's done it. So it's those little brilliant little things like that separate the likes of Arteta and Pep from the rest of the pack.
Elite management. Again, he's been the bridesmaid God knows how many times. It may be his time. I remember a couple of years ago where they drew to Southampton, at home. I was away on holiday, and that was the straw that broke the camel's back. They were losing that game as well, but I think maybe this time he will get it. There was a lot of pressure from the Arsenal fan base as well. A lot of people were saying if he doesn't get it this season, he could potentially be gone because they.
Well, how many times have you heard on TalkSport and that Arsenal fans, they're vocal, aren't they? Calling in saying that we want him gone. He's it's always second place. It's got to be the year. I mean, if you win anything, then I don't know. Stranger things have happened in football, but that'll blow my mind. If Arsenal won no season with that squad, look at it's why we watch the sport, though, isn't it?
We're a fickle bunch, Tom. We're a fickle bunch when it comes to our clubs. Try being an Evertonian. I tell you, because it's been hard going. It's been hard going. But again, Moisey's been a breath of fresh air coming back in. He really has. There was only one man that could come back in, and he's
steady the ship.
He's the right man at the right time at the moment.
Yeah.
We've got visions of years later with the new stadium and all that. I get that, but the present moment, just to solidify it and get us up the table a bit. My dad's wanted him back for over 10 years, mate, but obviously he's been attached to clubs. Dad said it for donkeys. Get Moisey back at different periods, but he's been brilliant, mate. It's been great having him back.
Everywhere he goes, he always, I mean, obviously it didn't work out at United, but he goes in, he steadies the ship and clubs get results. People say that, he doesn't play an entertaining brand of football. Well, a lot of managers don't. It's rare that they do. And when they do, oftentimes they lose because they don't have the quality of players to play that brand of football. Russell Martin springs to mind under Southampton. Ange Postecoglou at Tottenham. They don't have the players. Amarin at United. They want to play this certain way, but they don't have the players to do it. And then they don't get the results. What Moisey does is he works with what he's got and he gets results. So, you're in good hands. I like Everton. I always have done. Proper people's club, and glad to see you doing somewhat well. You just need a centre forward, don't you?
Barry, you're predicated on your goals, as I've said on this show many a time. He will get a little bit of grace at the moment. He's in a grace period of it because he's new and he's younger and he's come in. A lot of his goals for Villarreal, those 14 last season, were in the latter portion of the season.
Okay.
Effort, but again, you're predicated on goals, and if you haven't got a lot of goals in midfield, it's difficult, isn't it? And that's where a lot of our goals have had to come from. So we're giving him a bit of a chance at the moment, but he's going to have to start. He's going to have to be burying chances sooner rather than later.
Shot target up until this weekend, had he? Did he even have a shot on target in the game just gone? He hasn't had a shot on target all season.
He'd won the most amount of headers this season in the game. So. Yeah, he puts himself about, just needs a bloody goal, mate, again. Tom...
How many appearances he made there, though? He must have made...
It's going to be, let's call it 10.
Double figures.
10, 11.
To not have a shot on target as a number 9.
Yeah.
It's alarming. But you'll see. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, he looks like he's got a bit about him, but ultimately, he needs to be at least getting shots on goal as a number 9.
At one point, I was saying getting Jai as a false 9. Because he's got more idea. If we needed to adjust something and change it, because we're going to struggle to keep hold of him, and then the African Cup of Nations, we're losing him. So he's been brilliant. Grealish, as you know Grealish better than anybody. It's been brilliant. It's been so good in terms of them two out wide for us and playing free role.
Yeah.
So I'm going to move this to the end of this portion of the show. You are going to come back for a part 2. We're going to do a bit of City nostalgia, some of your memories, and I'm going to intermingle some general football nostalgia at you as well when we've covered City. Tom, thanks so much for coming on. This has been a live episode this evening. We're missing the Champions League tonight. I apologise.
Don't, mate. No, I'm happy to jump on. And anytime you need me to jump on, mate, I'll make the time for you. Like I said to you, weekends is a no-go, but Monday to Friday, mate, I'm yours anytime you need.
Perfect, man.
Just vent at, mate. I'm all ears.
I appreciate that. I appreciate it. Also, we're part of the Sports Social Podcast Network, Europe's biggest sports podcast network. Under the Cosh are on there. Big Joe Marler's shows on there. You name it. All sorts of genres of sport. Again, if you've got a podcast, you're not affiliated with anybody, you can join the Sports Social. In your audio form, you put adverts in, so you gain ad revenue, and you don't pay to list your shows, which I was doing years ago. Fantastic platform, very helpful. So yeah, if you've got a podcast and you're looking to join somebody, the Sports Social Podcast Network, amazing. And we'll be back with Tom later on in December for this nostalgic episode, which will be coming out. We're going to pre-tape it. Cheers, thanks, and we will see you very, very soon for episode 89 of Football Then and Now. A look at current football, and we also cover nostalgic topics within the beautiful game. Take care, guys.
Cheers, guys.
Football Then and Now, a fun look at football nostalgia and the modern game intertwined. Join us.